What's up, my friend? Welcome to another live stream. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ted and I talk bass. This channel is all about tips, tricks, and tutorials for what I like to call the blue collar bass player. That means me. That means you. Um, I'm gonna save you the spiel. Look, I'm gonna go live tomorrow, but I wanted to test some stuff, some technology stuff. As you can see, I've had like the flu or something for like the last week. It's been crazy, man. But I'm back in here. So save all of that. I'm just, I just wanted to test out some technology. Not gonna interact with the chat too much, but um, I'm coming back from the dead, as it were, and so there's some chops I didn't let just fall by the wayside. Reading is one of those things. I haven't been forced to read in quite some time. And I will tell you this, the quick story for those who don't know, I didn't start reading until I was 35 years old. I got my degree in music when I was 41. Um, I struggle with that decision because it's really, anyway. Um, but one of the things about reading, you get better at reading when you are constantly put in situations where you have to read. And just like anything else, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't lose it all the way, you get rusty at it. So, having said all that, another thing is when I start feeling like I'm falling by the wayside on something, I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem with like going back into like a beginner's mind. You know what I'm saying? And so, what I'm going to show you today, as I test out some technology, is really a beginner's mind approach to this, right? So for you fancy cats, you might not want to stick around. You know what I'm saying? You know it all, cats. You know who you are. I love you still, but you may not want to. You know what I'm saying? You may not want to kick it for this one. But this is what I'm gonna do. And hopefully we don't get in any trouble. But this is what we're gonna do. This is something simple. Let me move this out of the way. Let me get this out of the way completely. Bam. Any piece of music that I've ever looked at, I would look at in this way, until it became like second nature to me, right? What was I gonna say? Think about it like an actor reading a script. For instance, in when you go to school for music, you have to have recitals. You have to have junior recital, senior recital, and all sorts of. You got to play in ensembles and all that stuff in between, right? So you have to do that in order to graduate. By the time you get to the performance, you have read whatever it is you're reading so much that really all it's doing is reminding you. Excuse me. One of these days, I'm gonna pull up some of my old recital material and show you what kind of notes and stuff that I've made. But on this very, very simple thing, I'm gonna show you exactly the way that I would teach a child, the way that I taught myself, the way I taught middle schoolers, how to read and stuff like that. And I'm going to use some of this modern technology. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I haven't looked at the chat. I swear, I hope you hear me okay, because what's up, Fleece? Because I feel like I said some good things. I feel like I said some good things just now. So anyway, Mr. 210, my father drilled us with reading at about 9 years old. And when I say drilled, he was old school, and he would, hey, sometimes at work, my mother, when yesterday was my mom's birthday, by the way. I can remember my mom's, man, driving around town and stuff. My mom would like read things out loud, like billboards and stuff. She would just read things out loud. And for her and for her generation, this is keeping the tools sharp. You know what I mean? And there's a fantastic. Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna get into this. There's a fantastic clinic with Marcus Miller. And Marcus Miller talking about guys asking him if it's okay that they don't read, right? He's like, man, you asking me this, you could have took that whole year or whatever and learned how to read, right? It's super simple. But this is what worked for me. He also said, well, Louis Armstrong didn't know how to read. Louis Armstrong didn't have access. If Louis Armstrong would have had access, excuse me, y'all, Louis Armstrong wouldn't have skipped that class. So anyway, this is the way I look at this. Number one, I see bass clef. I'm not worried about, let me open up these annotation tools real quick. See what we got here. Here we go. So here's the thing. I'm not worried about pitch. Now, I do know that note is the note C. And that note is going to be addressed in a couple of different places on the bass. But I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about right now is rhythm. And thank you, John Clark. The reason why I think rhythm first, and somebody told me this, I can't remember who it was, but they said, if you play the wrong notes, you can go back and you can fix that. Like you practice, you fix that, right? Or you can just kind of skirt by it, right? Rather. But if you can't keep up with the rhythm, you get lost, right? If you can't, so music is moving in time, right? So I'm going to have a little fun with this pen, just so you know. So I'll be maybe writing some unnecessary stuff here, because this is I'm like a geek for this. So 4/4 time or cut time. That's the first thing. Is I know there are 4 beats to a measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. I don't like that I don't necessarily care for that saying, because it's complicated, right? You need the equivalent of 4 quarter notes, right? One way I like to think about it, if I think about that measure as $1, and I only have 4 coins with which to make $1, I would need 4 quarters, right? But we all know that if I had 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and a nickel, I would still have the equivalent of $1. So right now, this is super simple. Like I said, for all you hotshot cats, you don't want to be here right now. This is beneath you. I love you anyway. Seriously. Also, if somebody's down in the chat and in here or whatever, and you like this and this is helpful for you, buy me a cup of coffee. Hook your boy up. I don't ask for much. I love you. All right, so here we go. I'm just happy to be able to talk again. I've been having a flu, man. I thought I had the Rona. 4/4 time or cut time. Let's just deal with 4/4 time right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to number these. 1, I swear on everything I love, man. My first year and a half of college, man, I was numbering things like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I ain't worried about the pitch. I'm not worried about the note at all. I'm worried about the rhythm. And then there's that bar line that lets me know, starting over again. 1, 2, but look at the tie, friend. 1, 2, let's just say that 3 is going to be silent, right? 4, there's my bar line again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, for me, when I was teaching myself how to read as a middle-aged person, right? I wasn't middle-aged at the time, but 35 is 35 middle-aged. Anyway, what clicked to me is starting to see things in phrases, right? So, for instance, that's 1. Can I highlight this? I wish I had a little pointer, a little spotlighty thing, but I don't really. That ain't gonna work. We don't want to do that. So what I see is 1 measure here. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. 1 measure here, 1 measure here, right? That's 2 measures. Of course, this is a super simple rhythm. It's a super simple rhythm. That's not the point. The point is that I see it in 2 bar phrases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. Right? I get comfortable with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter what, right? So then what I would do is I would either, depending on what the phrase was, I would add the downbeat of the next phrase and just build it like that. But this time, I'm actually going to look at the next 2-measure phrase, which I'm going to say is measure 3 and measure 4. Okay, look, let me clear all of this because that's getting a little messy. If you're following what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat. If you follow what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat. So here's measure 1, measure 2. I look at that as my first 2-bar thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Right? Now that I've practiced that, right? Now, of course, simple rhythms like this, I'm not going to practice that. Tomorrow, when you come back to the live stream tomorrow, I'll show you what I'm thinking as I play through stuff like this. And it won't all be simple like this. But this is just my main thing. I would walk into a room and I'd be in the room with people 10, 15, 20 years younger than me. Thank you, Scott, for becoming a member. John Clark, thank you for saying 1. Fleece, I see you. Look, so I would get so much anxiety when I knew that I had to read. I mean, it would freak me out, man. Right? And I had to develop these little bitty techniques. So when I look at the second, I see that tie, right? Whoops. 1, 2, because they're tied together. 3, 4, 1. Oh, but look at this. Look at this. Where have I seen that before? I've seen it here. So then I start to see these patterns, right? It's all patterns. With the exception of this tie right here, I've seen those rhythms before. I've seen that before. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 1 is going to be silent or implied. That might be a bad way to put it. That might be a bad way to say it. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So now that rhythm, notice, I don't even have a bass in my hand yet, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, who was able to follow me? I started at measure 1. That's going to be another thing. Excuse me. Woo! So this is what I'm planning on doing tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, what I'd like to do is, and let me know if you would be into this kind of thing. So this is, whoopsie. Hey, what's going on here? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Boom, boom, deep, doop, bop, 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 deep, doop. So it's not going to be just all, but, we can go on this journey together because I don't want to let my reading go to the wayside. But what I'm thinking about doing is having, and you guys let me know if this works for you. I got this camera that I will do something like this. Hang on a second. Um, I'm gonna do something like this, where I may talk to you from this camera, have this camera down so you can see the bass, see me playing. Does that work for you? If that works for you, if you think that would be a cool thing, put a 2 in the chat. If that's the type of thing that you think, hey man, that would be of value to the community, that would be of value to me individually. If that's something that you might like to see in that way, let me know. And like I said, for some of you hotshot cats, this ain't gonna be the thing. You know what I mean? But for me, trying to get my reading chops and things like that back, you know, I'm willing to go back. Willing to go back. Thank you. Tax 760. You a tax man? I need a tax guy. I'm kidding. Yeah, so yeah. I want to say something to my boy Fleece. And Excellent is probably watching the football game right now. You guys were right. You were right. So stay on me. You're right. But yeah, so just to kind of recap, when you're thinking about reading, think rhythm first, right? Don't try to go like for the hardest thing. I think a lot of people want to go from 0 to Bach chorales and stuff. I would literally, I'm gonna just do this whole thing. Now that I've finished talking, you guys, I mean, I'm just rambling at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's my bar line. I know I'm at another measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a tie. So put 1 in parentheses there. 2, 3, 4, 1. But check this out. These 2 quarter notes right there is the same as that. Right? It's the same as a half note. 1, 2, oops. Whoops, come on. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Look at this. 3 and 4 held together. 1, 2, 3, 4. My handwriting is shit. I know that. 1. Ooh, look at that. That's a rest. We're still going to put that there because the beat still happens even though it's a rest, right? 1, 2, rest. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just counting money. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Look, would I normally have to do this? Like, after you advance a while, right? You don't have to do this, right? Unless you come up with something like when I was playing a lot of musical theater, there were times when I would have to like, oh, that's a tricky rhythm. Let me suss that out. Because sometimes, like in musical theater, a lot of times the bass will double the bone. Right? And I remember, oh God, it might have been something like Anything Goes or Cats. And me and this trombone player, we were having a little bit of conflict, man. And there was, a couple of rehearsals. It was like, we not agreeing on the rhythm. Right? And so we had to like professionally sit down and like really come together. So we was like, because that's what it was. That's the way it was written. The bone and the bass were doing the same thing. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? 2, 3, 4, 1. All right. Look, I ain't writing the rest of it, but this is what I'm gonna do. So I said that I was worried about rhythm first, and then the notes second. Now, I know if I pick up this bass guitar right here. If I pick up this bass guitar, I know I see only one note, that whole thing. I've, skimmed along the thing, and I see one note. And that note is the note C. I know that's the note C. Let me know if the bass is too loud, y'all. I know that note is the note C. It will be as long as that's as long as there is as long as there is time, that note on a written page is going to be the note C. It's either going to be this C or that C. They're the same C. It's crazy, man. The older I get, the worse my eyes get. I got to wear these readers. And the readers make my neck look like it's bent. So, excuse me. I'm gonna just keep time. And y'all hit that like button, man. If you hit the like button, it lets me know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more of this kind of content. Like I said, this ain't for you fancy cats. This ain't for you fancy cats. You advanced cats. You know what I mean? But you cats that want to get your read now, hey, look, I'm going to keep my own time. 1, 2, 1, 2, the note C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Follow with your eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, rest. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, rest. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, half note. 3, 4, half note. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so peep this. I know that was nutty. Since I can't like point with my hands and show you where I was, right? What I would challenge is when I do this again is that you follow along with your eyes. Follow along with your eyes and your ears, just looking at the measures. What measure is he on? Which one is he counting, right? There are no measure numbers here. So that's a great question. So Fleece says, when they tie the quarter note like that, why not just write a half note? It would depend. It would depend on the composer. It just depends. It just depends. Neither, that's the best answer I got. I don't have a cute academic answer for you. It just depends. Um, sometimes like the music nerds in the music building, we would sit back and look at pieces of music and be like, well, why was this written this way and not written that way? I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was, pardon me, very uncivilized. Man, it's been like that all week. I thought I had the Rona, y'all. I got the black lung pop. Um, so I won't visit that. I won't visit that piece of music in it. And hopefully I don't get in any trouble. This is from Rich Appleman's Reading Contemporary Bass, right? Now, when other notes, so let's say other notes, let's see. Let's find something else. Okay, so here's something. I said that I was looking at I'm not going to go through the whole deal here right now, but I'm looking at the time signature and the key signature. I don't see any sharps or flats, so I must be in the key of what? No sharps or flats. I must be in the key of C, right? Or A minor, right? And then another thing that I would do is I would look at high notes and low. I would just skim and look for, excuse me, peaks and valleys, right? Where's my highest note? Where's my lowest note? Is there a passage where I may have to, do some maneuvering from the lower register of the neck to the higher register of the neck, right? So if I play this in halftime, so I said this in my last live stream when I was talking about how here's the key of C. So all of those notes are in the key of C. So even though I see patterns, I can't rely on those patterns to get me through this music, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So those parts where I screwed up, right? In a real situation, if I were like shedding for a reading gig or something like that, excuse me, I would mark those and I would be like, okay, that's where I need to go and fix some stuff. I was looking around. Oh, you know what? I'm going to try to show this to you guys. I'll try to show this to you. I know the camera isn't always nice with this. This was sort of like my my bass Bible in college, with a lot of different things in it. Yeah, here's my sonata, Vivaldi Sonata number 3 in A minor. And there's stuff that I thought I would never, ever, ever read. If you search my channel, you'll find my senior recital when I'm playing the Eccles Sonata in G minor. The intonation is absolute shit, but that's okay. It is a mountain that I climbed. I'm proud to have climbed it. And okay, so what is this? This is the Meistersinger, which was like really funny for a black dude to be playing Wagner for like one of his first recitals. But like, hold on a second. Let me switch the camera here. Let me give y'all a different camera. Boom. Look at the notes. Look at the notes, man. By the time you get to it, you've made so many notes on stuff. You know what I mean? So I have some other better examples that I can show you. But yeah, dude, like reading rhythms is so, it's easy. You just have to, you gotta like put the time in, right? You gotta just like, you just gotta put the time in. I know that's easier said than done, but like, you know, start off with the basic thing, you know, your whole notes, quarter notes, add, you know, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm gonna have fun with this whole iPad thing. Y'all just don't even know. I bought this iPad like on a fluke. What should I write on? Hold on a second. Dang, y'all. Now, of course, there's a difference between reading the notes on the page and reading like a lead sheet, like this, where you just have, or a chord chart, right? That's a different thing. You know, sometimes you got to be able to read like the dots on the page, as it were. But it all comes back to like counting, and this is a chart for a group of homies, the Crooked Vines, that I was doing a couple of, you know, this thing, you know, it's just like understanding this little cues and being able to watch and, you know, and count. You know, this all, I don't know. I'm on a tangent. I don't want a tangent. You know, I can go off if I get too excited. So I wonder if in Fourscore, I'm using Fourscore right now, which was always my preferred. Oh, you know what? Hang on, y'all. Hang on a second. I got to close it real quick because I don't want y'all to be looking at my. I don't want you to see none of my secret stuff. Just kidding. But you never know. I mean, you never know. That's what I'm saying. You never know what's gonna pop up, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that was on a live stream." Notability. That's what I'm gonna use right now, and I'll show you something. Fleece. Stephen Bird, what's up, Pop? What's up, Pop? Sorry, y'all. I'm sniffly, man. Sniffly. Okay. So peep this. Fleece. This is for you, buddy. It's like a factor tree, right? There's a whole. Oh, that's too high up. Can't see that. Let's say that's a whole note, right? You know the whole note is worth 4 beats. 1, 2. Well, you ain't gonna. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? If I divide that into 2 equal parts, get 2 half notes. Each one of those is worth 2 beats. Right? 4 beats. Divide those into 2 equal parts. You see what I'm saying? Divide the quarter note into 2 equal parts. I get 2 eighth notes. Or, right? But you wouldn't say it like that. Whoopsies. Handwriting is terrible. That was supposed to be 4 eighth notes, just showing you different ways that those eighth notes might present themselves. Right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And then, of course, each eighth note can be divided into a 16th note. Right? You see what I'm saying? 1 E and a, 2 E and a. You see what I'm saying? So let's say here's a rhythm. It's a simple rhythm. What I would do with little kids is I just, clap them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not little kids, but like, fifth and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. The little kids go ta, 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 ta. You get to 5th and 6th grade, we beyond that ta, ta, ta stuff, right? We counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. What every note value has a corresponding rest value. So then that rest looks like that. The beat is still happening. The beat's still alive. It's still there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I'm saying? Look, I may be going on a little bit longer than I wanted to go today, but what I wanted to make sure of was that, one, I could navigate the technology in the way that I wanted to. Looks like that's working. Looks like everybody is down to having this type of discussion, right? Again, for those who missed it in the beginning, I like to think, when you're, sometimes, especially as adults, I know most of my demographic that watches my channel is middle-aged men, right? And a lot of times we be scared to put ourselves into like a beginner's mind. And that's why in certain aspects of our lives, we can't really get past a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like some of the homies, man, sometimes I be thinking, man, you supposed to be way beyond that shit. And it's just a thing we need to click and say, cool, let's just, you know what I'm saying? But also, if you don't really put yourself in positions where you have to read, you're not going to do it, right? You're just not going to do it. So, yeah. I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Bird, pop. You made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, good to see you guys on a Sunday. I hope your Sunday's going well. I've been sick all week, man. Monday, Tuesday was cool. I put like 8 miles on the bike each day. Monday and Tuesday night. Tuesday night got real sniffly. I've been in bed for like 3 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And most of yesterday, yep, in the bed. But yeah, man. So tomorrow, I'll see you guys about 7 o'clock, something like that. Ooh, can I talk about the trick to recognizing the key signature? Yeah, buddy. I have a trick for y'all. All right. And I know that it's 2022, but this is the way I learned it. Um, remember this sentence. Remember this sentence for the order of sharps. Remember this sentence for the order of sharps. You ready for it? Are you ready? I'm going to tell you. Here it is. Fat Charlie gets donuts at every bakery. Remember that sentence for the order of sharps. Fat Charlie gets donuts at every bakery. I know it's 2022. Don't cancel me, nobody. But if this video helped you at all, buy your boy a cup of coffee. Hit the like button so I know that you like it. And let's get this thing going again. Shall we? Huh? Hit the like button. I'm coming to your house. I'm not coming to your house. That's from the pandemic. Some of y'all know that. I'm coming to your house. I'm not coming to your house. Anyway, y'all, I'll catch you tomorrow at about 7 Central Standard Time. That's my time. I'm in New Orleans. So I will see you then. Okay? As always, peace, 2 fingers. Bring a pad and pen tomorrow. Peace.